Hi class, welcome to the Technology of Information. This is class 700. This is an online asynchronous course. I want to go over a couple of things today in this brief presentation. I want to go over the course goals, our readings, the different labs we'll be working on, our discussion posts, position papers, e-portfolios, and the schedule. Basically going over how the course is going to work. First, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I have been teaching college courses since 2003. I received my PhD at the University of Texas at Austin in the School of Information. Prior to that, I was working as an instructional technologist for 10 years at different universities. And from there, I started my first professorship at Rutgers University in the School of Information Science. And I've been at Queens College since 2016. I'm an associate professor. And I've been actually teaching 700 every semester ever since. This is probably my 10th time teaching the course. So I'm looking forward to having all of you here. And the course is, evolve a little bit every semester as it should, because it is a technology course. So our course goals. First is to describe and explain the uses of the computer as an information tool in libraries and information centers. I want to give an aside here. So some of you may be nervous when you think about having to use computer technology on the back end. So we're all users of computers. We've all been using machines, but now we really want you to start to be able to break it down a little bit, to think about what's the code that I'm interacting with behind a website. When I click on a website, what's actually happening, or when I'm using different content management systems in a library, whether it's for cataloging or, user profiles or looking at your budgets. How are all of these things connected, and what's kind of happening behind the screen, so that in the end you'll be able to work on it or manipulate it yourself. But there can be a little bit of anxiety when we think about computing, when we start talking about computer coding, and I want to tell you that we're going to work through this very slowly. I'm not going to teach you how to become a software engineer. That's not the goal here. The goal is to make you proficient at using machines, proficient at using different types of technologies, and really the key is to learn how to learn when you think about technology, because the technologies are always going to change. Whatever I teach you today, technology-wise, tool-wise, will be outdated within 5 to 10 years. We'll be lucky if we get 5. So what you will be learning how to do is learning how to learn about tech. How do you find tutorials that are useful? How do you go to a discussion board or to a website to find the answer to the technical problem that you have? So that's what we really want you to be thinking about, is to kind of learn how to learn about technology. So the second goal is to demonstrate intermediate knowledge of application and productivity software, then demonstrate knowledge of visual and information literacy, and discover and use Web 2.0, social software, and other emerging technologies. So our course readings, you don't have to buy anything for this class. We're going to be using the Neil Schulman Library Technology Companion, a basic guide for library staff, the 6th edition. E-Reserve should be putting these chapters up as soon as I get the license for it. Until then, I have the physical book at home and I'm scanning the chapters. So right now, chapter 1 and 2 scans are available in Blackboard. So you can just read those now, and hopefully E-Reserves will have it ready for you. If not, I'll just keep scanning. I don't care. Anyway, we're going to be using library technology reports also when we get into some of the kind of topics of the day, when we get into artificial intelligence or digital archives, digital legacies, and these personal voice assistants. When we get into these, library technology reports are a really great series that are put out 6 times a year by the American Library Association. And they basically have somebody who has subject matter expertise in one of the newer technologies write a report that, one, describes the technology, gives the historical background of the technology, talks about 1 or 2 case studies or case uses of the technology in a library, and then gives you, the possible future trends or what else is happening. So this is just a good series to be aware of as you work through your master's and also as you leave and become a librarian. These library technology reports can really get you up to speed quickly with technology. So aside from our readings, we're going to have lab work. So we're going to be using a couple of different websites. One of them is glitch.com. So Glitch will allow us to create HTML pages, which are web pages. We'll use CSS, which is a cascading style sheet, which allows us to change our background and have a more uniform and better looking website. We'll use some basic JavaScript in Glitch also, which is going to be making interactive buttons and so forth, so that you'll understand how variables and containers and what's happening when you click on a button to log in, for instance, to something, or if you click on a website that says you must be 21 years old to enter, and you click it to enter your birthday, you'll learn how to do that and kind of learn the technology that's happening behind that. And I can promise you none of this stuff is difficult, but you will have to work at it. You have to think differently because it's a very sequential, logical way of doing things, where if one step is off or if one letter is off, the entire thing won't work. But you'll get used to working with it. And, people come in very anxious at the beginning of every semester and actually leave pretty confident with technology. So I have full faith in all of you that you're going to work through this. We'll also work with wiki pages using wiki.com. You'll work through Google Sites to build a website in Google Sites, and also get used to using Google Drive, Google Slides, and really the entire suite of Google tools, because you will be using those in different classes as you get your degree here. And then we'll work with Scratch also, which is a visual block programming language that's really great for, particularly to teach kids, or not even kids, but to teach basic computer programming principles. So we'll be doing that. I work on a 5-point scale for assessing all of the work. This goes for your discussion posts, this goes for your papers that you'll be writing, and all of your lab work. So it basically starts with 0 for no credit, limited is 2 points, something underdeveloped is 3 points. Satisfactory work is 4 points. Remember, if you meet all the requirements, you do everything that was asked, you do it right, that's satisfactory work. It means it's the typical work that you expect a graduate student to do, which is satisfactory. Exceptional work, well, exceptional work is exceptional. You know it when you see it, it stands out, it's different, it's unique. Maybe it integrates several additional features beyond what was asked for. So that's the difference between satisfactory and exceptional. Most work will be satisfactory in this class. Discussion posts are worth 20 points of your grade. In the discussion post, you're basically going to show me that you read the text. Now, because this is an online course and I can't participate in live synchronous discussions with you, we can only do this through the discussion board. So in order for me to understand that you are reading, show me that you're reading by filling out these discussion posts. Demonstrate that you're critically engaging with the materials. Ask questions. Be provocative, poke back at it, find alternate sources if there's something that you disagree with. So feel free to argue with the authors, feel free to push back in any way that you want to, or feel free to support it and maybe find something in the news that's happening that further explains your key points. Aim for responses that range between 400 to 500 words per question, and your question should be answered in the online discussion by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday night. You can have until 12:30, that's fine, but the reason I don't put 12:30 is because there's confusion sometimes between Thursday night and Friday, right? So please have it posted by 11:59 p.m. on that Thursday night. I'll give leeway. I'm not going to be a parking meter reader and say it's not midnight, but get them in by 12:30, please. Post will be assessed twice during the semester using that 5-point rubric. So I'll look at it after we finish the first textbook, and then I'll look at them again. Not look at them, but assess them again at the end of the semester. You're going to have 2 position papers. These are worth 40 points of the grade. We work on a 100-point system in the class. In your position papers, you'll be relating course readings to your own experiences and current events and trends. And If you think about it, your discussion posts that you're writing every week are actually building into your eventual position paper. So everything that I ask you in your discussion post, feel free to start using that again in your paper when you write these. You want to connect our readings and discussions directly to libraries inside of these papers. Highlight ideas from our readings or other themes that you're learning in the class that are outside of the readings. A lot of times I'll cover things inside of our lectures that aren't covered in the readings. These should be between 5 and 6 pages, accompanied by an annotated bibliography with at least 8 sources, 3 of which must be from professional sources or from peer-reviewed journals. You have an e-portfolio that you're going to be creating that's going to be worth 10 points. This e-portfolio is going to serve as your portfolio projects throughout the semester, and this is going to become your new professional presence online. So you're building your own website in this class where you're going to have samples to share. You'll have a sample to show of your HTML skills, your CSS skills, your Java skills. You'll have a little video game that you make in Scratch. So you're going to have all these pieces, and you're going to collect them all and put them in your e-portfolio. Now, the e-portfolio has been important for several students that have gone through this course when they're looking for capstone projects, or they're looking for internships, or they're even applying for jobs. Many times they've been asked, do you have any experience computer coding, or do you have any experience with technology? And they say, actually, I do. Let me show you my portfolio. And I've had several students already. I've only been at Queen since 2016. Several students that have shown their portfolio in job interviews and were hired because of that. So your e-portfolios are extremely important to have and maintain even after the class. So communication in the class, because it's a fully online class, there's 20 of you, and I'm teaching 2 other online classes, which have 20 students apiece. Please, when you send me an email, include the course number, 700, and your last name in the subject line. That's going to help me filter these out, find them a little bit easier. And also, student emails take a priority for me in my email box, and if I see that number 700 in there, I'll answer it right away. I do read and reply to email between Monday and Friday. I will not respond to emails on Saturdays, Sundays, or school holidays, so keep that in mind when you're emailing me. And though this is a online asynchronous class, we may need to have individual meetings throughout the semester, depending on the types of projects that you're working on, or if you have any particular questions. So I do hold a consistent office hours that's listed in Blackboard, but we may need to have an individual meeting throughout the semester, even though it's an online class. So that's pretty much how our class is going to be working. This is just a introduction to the syllabus, and on Friday, our first class session will be held, where I'll give you a presentation about chapters 1, chapter 2, and kind of a theoretical introduction into the class that we're doing. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of you, and I will see you online.